Hello and welcome to How to Transform with Wallas Toy Reviews. In this video, I will be working with Deluxe Autobot Highbrow and Titan Master Xort from Transformers Titan's Return and show you the transformation sequence from helicopter mode to robot mode and back, as well as how to use Highbrow's accessories and gimmicks. Let's begin! First, we will talk about Highbrow's gimmicks in aircraft mode. The first one being his rotor spin, hooray for that! Next, he has a functioning cockpit in which you can store his Titan Master or soon-to-be head Xort, and he fits in nicely, and he actually tabs in gently using this little tab and the corresponding slot inside the cockpit, which we can now close. So this is Xort, and we will come back to him in a second. Now we also have this gimmick of landing gear, which is an interesting case in this one because the front landing gear is actually folding, and here you have an adapter point for an action base so that you can make this toy airborne in this mode, and the rear landing gear is integrated into Highbrow's weapons, so if you remove these he will no longer be able to land in a nice looking way. Still, we have to remove at least one of these to show off all of his weapon ports. So we have two on the wings and one on each side of the cockpit, so Highbrow can be weaponized with up to 6 weapons as an aircraft. And since all of these ports are universal 5mm diameter, the end result can look quite nice, especially if combined with the action stand. One more thing you can do with weapons in this mode, well, honestly in both of them, but I think it looks better in aircraft mode, is to combine Highbrow's 2 guns using this slider and corresponding crevices in the other piece. So you slide one into another and create a combined gun or weapon platform in which Xort can stand using these 2 small holes corresponding to these pegs. Like this. And now you can take Highbrow and take any port of your choosing, but I think the ones near the cockpit work best, and have him ride as a sort of armoured sidecar for the helicopter mode. And with that said, it's time to transform Highbrow from aircraft to robot mode. So first, make sure that Xort is not sitting in the cockpit. If he is, remove him. Close the front landing gear and remove the guns from under the wings. And the first thing we can do in the main transformation sequence is to fold the cockpit on the main body. So we have a double hinge over here, so we first unplug the cockpit from the main body. And now first bend the cockpit out to the back on this hinge, and then on the other to make sure that it will sit flush on the back. Now we can go to the wings and arms and we unplug them from the main body. This is a 2-way connection with the arms plugging into the knee guards as well as the upper arms plugging over here to these small tabs. And we can also lift the arms up on this double shoulder hinge, which will allow us to make room for what we have to do with the legs. So we go over here and split the tail, and it also tabs together, as well as we have small tabs on the inside of the legs that will clip into this piece. So we may have to bend it out a bit to make the separation easier. And now that that's done, we split the legs apart, rotate them using the thigh hinge, straighten them out, and put them closer to the center of the figure. And we can also go to the tail and flip out the heels. And now we have to collapse the legs together with the torso. So we just get a vantage point and slide it in so that the hips are closer to the loin. And now we just have to get our hands on the forearms and flip out the hands. Just remember that they do not lock into place. This is all by friction, and if it clicks in, it means the hands are too much out. And that is Highbrow's main body. Well, we can also technically use this small flap, but that's mostly cosmetic. But still, you can push in here to make this bit protrude a bit more, which is my preferred way to display Highbrow. And finally, we get our hands on Xort and collapse him to form Highbrow's head, which we then insert to this port at the top of the main body. And with that done, Highbrow's robot mode is complete. So let's talk about Highbrow's gimmicks in robot mode. The first one being his quite nice and wide range of motion for a deluxe class toy, and the other one is all of these weapon ports can be again used to decorate him with further weapons. And now we have 2 more 5mm weapon ports in his hands, so that gives us a total of 8 in this mode. Though considering that most of them are vertical at this point, you will have to do some star screaming, thunder cracking, sky warping or any other stickering to make them look useful. And of course, if you don't have any other weapons at your disposal at that time, you can simply give Highbrow his own weapons to make him look quite nice on the shelf. And now, the action stand adapter in the landing gear is not all that useful in this mode, as it's quite high on robot mode, but you can use another one dedicated to robot mode that is near Highbrow's posterior. And all of these gimmicks combined can make for a rather interesting display. And seeing that this toy is a headmaster type, you can always remove Highbrow's original head and instead put there any other Titan Master from this line to work in its place. And with all of these gimmicks covered, it's time to transform Highbrow back from robot mode to helicopter mode. So, to first prepare, we have to remove his guns, as well as his head, which we can already transform back into Xort mode. And now the main figure. So the first thing we can do, and already have it out of the way, we can collapse this panel back into the chest area. Just a simple push. And now we can hide the fists inside the forearms. And if they are bent, we can straighten them out. We can also slightly push them down if they are at an angle. And right now we can just lift them up a bit to make room for what we have to do to transform the legs. So the first step, we want to expand the legs so that they slide away from the chest area. So we just grab them and slide them out. And now we can hide the heel pieces inside the feet. And now we rotate the legs outwards and we push them up so they are getting closer to the pants. And this step might be a bit tricky the first few times. We want to connect both the legs to each other, and we also want to connect the newly formed tail to the main body. And the legs are easy because they just tab in with this tab and this slot, but we also have these secondary tabs that look like 2 teeth that will go into this centerpiece and these 2 crevices. So my approach to this is to get one leg closer to this piece and to sort of teeth it in, maybe perhaps bend a bit this piece so it threads in, and we do not push it all the way in. Now we get our hands on the other leg and repeat this procedure. Thread this tooth-like piece over the centerpiece, and only when both of them are in the right position do I tab both legs together, which also secures the connection with the main body. This is definitely the most tricky part of this transformation, but once that's done, everything else is very simple. So now let's take care of the arms, and they tab to the main body in two places. The first one, we have these tabs protruding from the main body, and they would go into these small clips, and if you look closely, the knee guards have just the right shape that corresponds to the cutout in the arm. So we lower the arms down on this double shoulder hinge and tab it in position A and also in the knee. As you can see, this fits in snugly, and from the other side, the first tab goes in, and so does the arm and the knee guard. And now we can just move the cockpit from the robot's back to the aircraft's front. And now we can also deploy the front landing gear. And as a finishing touch, we can also install the weapons which act as rear landing gear. So the best way to do it is just use this attachment point, this hexagonal port over here, and the other gun over here. And we can also optionally, but not necessarily, put Xort in the cockpit. And with that done, Highbrow's helicopter mode is complete. And with that said, it's time to end today's transformation guide. I hope you've enjoyed it and it was useful to you in some way. More videos like this are on their way, and I encourage you to suggest toys that you are interested in for future guides in the comments, and maybe even subscribe to my channel if you want to help it grow and see what's coming next. Anyhow, thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you again soon, and until then, stay well.